All right, we are here with Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. Great swag, first of all. Thanks for joining us. Great to be with you guys. We're in the Eagles Hotel. Yeah. Are there sightings that still make you like a little bit starstruck?
It's wild. First off, just like walking through, players are hanging out with the fans and folks are stopping to talk to me. It's amazing. It's just like an incredible vibe. Philly is here in New Orleans. It's amazing.
I'm curious when the fan hat comes on and the governor hat comes off when you're here in New Orleans for the weekend.
I think I wear them both. I mean, I spend a lot of time while I'm here trying to do economic development, sell our Commonwealth. 2 years ago when I was at the Super Bowl, I was selling our Commonwealth to Roger Goodell in the NFL to bring the NFL draft to Pittsburgh in 2026. We were successful.
Good sell job.
Yeah, I was a big pain in his ass. But so there's some of that, and I spend time doing that. It's important. That's a big part of my job. Then I got to tell you, like, I'm always a fan. I'm always representing the birds, and it's just like I feel like a kid again. You know, in our youth, I'm probably a little older than you guys. I'm 51. But, you know, we had that long dry spell where nobody won anything in Philly sports. Now my kids are seeing, right, Eagles go to the Super Bowl, Phils are constantly in the playoffs, right? Sixers not so great right now, but it's like I still am hungry for, you know, the big win as a fan, given how I grew up. So it's exciting. So I guess I wear both hats.
So 2 years ago in Arizona and now, so, you know, in Minneapolis, how does this team compare? Like how much faith do you have in this team versus those other two Super Bowl teams?
So obviously there's a lot of consistency between the two teams. I think at every position we're better. And at the two areas where you need to be best to win championships, offensive line and defensive line, I think we have the best in the NFL. Mm-hmm. That's how you win championships. That's what Howie has always worked to build. And then you go from there. And so I think our offensive line is better, and offensive and defensive line better objectively than we were 2 years ago. Now, look, Kansas City's a hell of a team. I hate to admit that, but they are. I think if there's any team in the NFL that can beat them, it's us.
The last time we spoke to you, I asked you about Saquon Barkley's approval rating relative to yours.
Way.
And since then, he's reached 2,000 yards, won Offensive Player of the Year. What perspective do you have on Saquon Barkley, not just as a player, but as a Pennsylvanian?
Yeah, I feel privileged. I've gotten to know Saquon Barkley a little bit, and he is a wonderful human being. I mean, he's a guy from Pennsylvania, from the Lehigh Valley, went to Penn State, was a hero there. And while he had that detour up 95 for a few years, you just tell how much he loves the community. What I appreciate most about him off the field is when we have a conversation, it's always about how can I help in the community? What can I do? If you think about it, a guy like Saquon Barkley, he doesn't have to do anything in the community. You know, he's fabulously rich, very successful. He could actually live apart and not care, but he gives a damn about the community, gives a damn about our Commonwealth. And I think it's extraordinary. It's a real testament to him. And there's a bunch of players on the Birds who care and give back. BG's another example that thought he should have been IFL Man of the Year. I thought he was robbed. But there's a number of guys who just really, really give a damn. I was at a Philly public school around Christmas time with the entire offensive line, plus Jason Kelsey. And they were out giving out toys and hanging out with the kids, spending time. They don't need to be doing that. And they are. There's a great culture on this football team. I think Saquon Barkley fits right in because he lives and breathes that kind of culture. He's a special guy.
Zach talked to Jeffrey Lurie on Monday night and sort of intimated that he maybe wants to do some stuff at the stadium. The lease is coming up. What did you make of his comments?
First off, I love Jeffrey Lurie. This guy has invested in the team. He's invested in the city. He's a hands-on owner. He really cares, right? The work he's done with the Autism Foundation has been life-changing for so many people. So I think he's great. I know he wants to think about what comes next, and I love somebody who's hungry to do more. We'll sit down and we'll talk about what his plans are when he formulates them. What I'm excited about right now is you have all of the sports teams working together in South Philly now that we got that deal done.
Right.
And so you're going to have a state-of-the-art arena for the Sixers, the Flyers. You're going to have all kinds of development in that area. I hope that we can pull that off. Restaurants, bars, residential, all kinds of great stuff. You pair that together with the Navy Yard and with what's happening at Bellwether, and South Philly is going to be on fire over the course of the next decade, I believe. And so all the teams together, with obviously the big one being the Eagles, right? is really exciting for Philly and really exciting for the Commonwealth. And we're going to be a part of what they want to do.
And part of the impetus of those conversations is an event like this. You're in New Orleans. You see how many people congregate and the way it helps the area when there is a Super Bowl, compared to, though, you saw the cold weather game, the intimacy of the snow game.
Yeah.
How do you kind of view there's football in the Northeast in cold weather in the snow compared to having a dome stadium where you can host events like this?
Yeah, I mean, you can host events. You don't have to worry about the weather at the game, of course. But man, I think there's something special about football in the winter. I don't know. I just think it's really special. And Philly knows how to put on a big party. We do. I mean, we've done huge, conventions, Democratic and Republican National Convention. In 2026, we're going to host the MLB All-Star Game, PGA Championship. We're working on a few other things as well in that realm. We've got the FIFA World Cup that's coming. On the other side of the state, we've got the NFL Draft in Pittsburgh. We know how to do big events in Pennsylvania, and it brings in hundreds of millions of dollars in economic opportunity for our Commonwealth. That's a big thing. Hospitality and tourism is really important. And so we're going to be partnering with our sports teams to see what they need to make sure Philly and Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh can be an even more attractive draw.
All right, I'm sure we know which way you're leaning, but let's get you on the record against the Chiefs. Some would say the greatest moral evil in the country these days.
Yeah.
What's your prediction?
So I'm going to give you an exact score, but let me give you a little
All right, let's hear it.
One, I love the fact that we're like America's team now, right? It's amazing. People want Philly to win this game, and I think that's awesome. I'm getting texts from other governors, not the Kansas or Missouri governor, but other governors, other people around the country say, I usually hate the Eagles, but I'm rooting for you. So I love that. I think that that's exciting, and you can feel that. When it comes to the game, I really think our ability to control the offensive line, to give Jalen a little more time, to give Saquon the opportunity to get going, especially if we can score early and play from ahead, not behind. So when you're playing from behind, that messes with your running game. I think the Birds are going to put 31 points on the board. Now, I think our defense cannot stop Patrick Mahomes. You can't stop that team. They're a very good team. But I think you can sort of contain them. Sure hope Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the ball in his hands with 2 minutes to go. I think they're going to score 27 points. I got the Birds winning this game 31-27. It is a bit of a heart pick, but it's also a head pick because I think we're a better team.
If that were to happen, there will be a parade at some point. What memories do you have as an Eagles fan, Sixers fan, Phillies fan of parades up Broad Street or down Broad Street?
Man, I remember like as a kid just being there with my family, in the stands or on the street, kind of watching them go by and just having great pride and feeling excitement, jubilation, man. It was just really cool. It's a great family experience to do that. And then, what was it, about 6 years ago now when the Birds won, we got the opportunity to sit a little bit closer, which was pretty neat.
You know some people.
And just to see the excitement on their faces. And of course, Kelsey's epic speech may be the greatest speech of my lifetime, right?
You can hire him as a speechwriter.
I would say, actually, I'm going to say the second greatest speech in Pennsylvania history after, of course, the Gettysburg Address. So it was Lincoln's Gettysburg Address and then Kelsey's parade speech.
How high up is your best speech rank?
Under Kelsey's, I'll tell you that much. No, it was just really, really cool, really exciting. And I want my kids to be able to experience it. I want other kids to be able to experience that. Philly's a great town. It's a great Commonwealth. And we should have winners all the time.
All right, Governor Shapiro.
Great to meet you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for all you guys do, okay?
More to come on all day. So